Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nazareth, and I'm on a 12-month journey to learn what I can about wealth and finance, and I'm sharing that information here with you. I'm not a financial expert, obviously. I'm just sharing information, so make sure you do your own research as well. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about R.R.S.P.s, and this is actually my first requested video, so I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm going to share what they are, how they work, and give you a little bit of additional information as well. So let's get started. R.R.S.P.s are a registered retirement savings plan, and although it says it's a savings plan, if you're using it well, it's actually more like an investment into your retirement. But it works in two ways. One is by allowing you to defer your taxes, and the other is allowing you to shelter your taxes. But before I get into that, let's talk about who can open an R.R.S.P. Okay, so anybody under the age of 71 who has earned income in Canada in the previous year is able to open an account. So if you're 17 years old, you might want to stick around for this video because it can give you a little bit of help into your future. As I said, this allows you to defer your taxes. Now, the premise is that when you retire, you're going to be earning less income than you are right now. So if you can put off paying your taxes until your retirement, you're going to be paying a lot less in the long run. So that means you're not going to have to pay taxes now, but also in the long run, you're going to be paying less money in taxes. So if you earned $80,000 last year and you put $5,000 into your R.R.S.P., you get a tax credit for $5,000. And that means you don't have to pay taxes on $5,000. And you can use this now or you can use it later if you'd like. So that would mean if you're going to use it now, you got $80,000, you take away $5,000 from the tax credit, and you're only paying taxes on the remaining $75,000. So you're going to be paying less in taxes. Again, you're going to be paying taxes later on as you pull money out of your R.R.S.P. in retirement. Now, the main question is how much money can you contribute? Because obviously, you're not able to put all of your money into this. There's a cap. You can contribute 18% of what you earned last year, up to $27,830 for 2021. Now that amount increases every year, but for now, that's what the amount is. So again, if you earn $80,000, 18% of that is $14,400. So that's how much money you can put into your R.R.S.P. this year. Now, let's say you can't afford to put $14,000 into your R.R.S.P. Well, you don't have to worry about it because you don't have to use all of that now. So the way I like to think about it, it's like a vault in a bank, and every year it increases slightly. If you decide not to use all of that space, it's okay. It's still waiting for you until you can afford to put it in. So if you want to put $4,000 in this year, that's fine. The additional $10,400 is waiting for you until you can afford to put that in. Now, what that means is if you have been working for 10 years and you haven't opened an R.R.S.P., you have 10 years worth of tax benefits that you can take advantage of. So you should really consider starting one and looking at how much money you have available for you. And you don't have to sit there with a calculator and count it out. You can actually go onto CRA's website and in the My Account section and look up the amount of money you have available to you. But there are a couple of things to keep in mind because if you over contribute, there's a penalty. They give you $2,000 worth of grace room, but after that, every additional dollar that you put into your R.R.S.P., you're going to be charged 1% every month. So be careful with how much you contribute. You don't want to over contribute. The other thing to keep in mind is if your job is matching your contributions, well, they're taking up some of your space. So keep that in mind when calculating how much you can put in. Also, if you have a pension plan and your company is matching your pension plan, all of that is removed from how much you can contribute into your R.R.S.P. So keep all of those things in mind because you don't want to over contribute and then get charged a lot of money for it. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that tax credit, and if you want to use it now or if you want to use it later. And there is a reason that you might want to hold off on using it. If you're about to get a really big raise that's going to bump you into a new tax bracket in the next year, well, actually, saving your tax credit for then is going to save or earn you more money than using it now. So that only works if you're going to be moved into a higher tax bracket. If you're getting a raise but staying in the same tax bracket, it doesn't make a difference. So you might as well use it right away. Actually, it's better for you to use it right away in that case. Now, if you're curious about why that is and how those numbers add up, let me know in the comments because I'm happy to put together a video giving you an example of how you would save money or earn more money by saving your tax credit. So just let me know. Now, the other way an R.R.S.P. benefits you is by acting as a tax shelter. And what that means is any money that you earn in your R.R.S.P., you're not paying taxes on until you start to withdraw the money when you retire. Normally, when you have investments, you get taxed on 50% of your earnings. But when it's in your R.R.S.P., you're not getting taxed at all until you start to withdraw. What that means is it's going to grow a lot quicker. So that's why I said this is more like an investment plan, because if you're thinking about the more strategic way to use your R.R.S.P., it's really trying to grow it as quick as you can or as much as you can. So putting it into a simple savings account, well, you can do that outside of your R.R.S.P. and it's not going to take advantage of all of these opportunities in the same way. So really think about where you can be maxing out on growing your money. So that way in 30 or 40 years, you have a lot more available to you. There are a couple of other things I want to mention. Once you turn 71, your R.R.S.P. is actually going to turn into something called an R.R.I.F., Registered Retirement Income Fund. And at that point, you have to start taking out money, and there's a minimum that you have to take out. That's when you get taxed on it, right? That doesn't mean that you can't take out money prior to that, but it's not necessarily a good idea for two reasons. One, if you're taking out money earlier while you're working, you might end up paying more in taxes than less. So that doesn't necessarily make the most sense. The other reason is once you put money into your account, if you take it out, that room, that space, isn't waiting for you. You've already used it and it's gone. So just be careful with adding and taking out money. There are two exceptions though. One is called the Lifetime Learning Plan and one is called the Home Buyers Plan. With the Home Buyers Plan, it gives you the opportunity to take out up to $35,000 tax-free to buy or build your first home. That's pretty incredible because it's kind of like taking out a loan from yourself because you'll have to pay it back, but you have 15 years to. Now the benefit is you don't have to pay interest on this. So it means that you're going to pay a lot less for your house in the long run because you're not paying that interest when you're paying your mortgage back, right? You're just borrowing and putting it back. There are some conditions. One, it has to be your first home. Another, you have to be a resident of Canada from the time that you withdraw the funds up to when the house is purchased or built. Another is you have to be living in it as your main residence within a year of purchasing it. And the fourth one is that you have to have a written agreement that you're purchasing or building this home. So, I mean, there's some flexibility here. So if you don't fit into those categories, still look it up. And if you're interested in this, let me know in the comments because I'm probably going to do a little bit more research for myself anyways. So I'm happy to put together a video for you. And as I said, there's also something called a Lifelong Learning Plan, an LLP. So this allows you to take out up to $10,000 in a calendar year to do full-time training or school. And there are conditions with this one as well. It has to be, within a qualified institution and program. If you've taken out money in the previous year, you can't be on a repayment schedule and you have to be a resident of Canada. Again, this is another one where I'm doing more research for myself because, to be honest, I'd actually never heard of an LLP. So let me know in the comments if you want me to put together a video because I might as well while I'm doing some research on it, right? All right, so that's pretty much the fundamentals and basics of an R.R.S.P. I'm sure one of the questions I'm going to get is around why I didn't post this video a few months ago before the deadline passed to add into your R.R.S.P. Well, the reason for that is I don't think we should be rushing into decisions just based on deadlines. I think we should be making informed decisions, taking the time to think about what works for ourselves, and you can't do that when you have 2 weeks to make that decision. But now you have months to plan before the next R.R.S.P. deadline passes. So think about if it works for you. Add it as a line in your budget so that you can be saving every month or contributing every month. Now, next week, I'm going to be talking about investments. This is actually the second requested video. This was through my Instagram page. So hit that subscribe button if you want to hear about, a few things that you should think about before getting involved in investments. Until next week, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I'll see you soon.